Hello, and welcome to Sleepsy. Thanks you so much for tuning in. Tonight, we will begin a dreamy retelling of the classic tale Beauty and the Beast. Take a slow, gentle breath in, and as you breathe out, allow your shoulders to soften, your jaw to loosen, and your thoughts to slow. Just a little more with each breath you take. There's nothing you need to do now. Nowhere you need to go, no one you need to be, except right here, resting comfortably, listening quietly, as this story begins to unfold, softly, gently, at its own unhurried pace. Tonight we find ourselves in a quiet place, a place that exists somewhere between waking and dreaming, where the air feels calm, and the night wraps everything in a sense of safety and ease. Imagine, if you will, a small village resting beneath a star-filled sky, its rooftops glowing faintly in the moonlight, chimneys still and silent, windows dark and peaceful, as though the whole village has gently fallen asleep together. At the edge of this village, just beyond the last softly glowing lantern, there stands a narrow path, leading away from familiar streets and towards something older, something quieter, something touched by the slow passing of time. The path winds gently through tall trees, their leaves barely stirring, whispering softly to one another, as though sharing ancient secrets meant only for the night. And far beyond the trees, nestled among rolling hills, there is a castle, not a frightening place, not a place of shadows or sharp edges, but a castle softened by ivy and moonlight, its stone walls worn smooth by years of rain and wind, its windows glowing faintly with warm, golden light. This castle is calm, restful, and still, as though it too is breathing slowly, deeply, in time with the quiet night around it. Inside the castle, long hallways stretched gently from room to room, their floors polished smooth, their walls lined with tapestries that sway ever so slightly as though moved by a breath of warm air. There's no hurry here, no sharp sounds, no sudden movements, only the slow rhythm of a peaceful place at rest. And in one of the castle's quiet rooms, near a tall window overlooking the moonlit gardens, there sits a single candle, its flame steady, its glow soft and reassuring. Nearby, a comfortable chair rests beside a small table, and upon that table lies an open book, its pages gently curved, waiting patiently, as if it knows it will be read eventually, when the moment feels just right. This is where our story begins, not with urgency, not with drama, but with calm presence and gentle curiosity. There is someone who visits this castle often, someone drawn to its quiet beauty, to its stillness, to the sense of peace that lingers in every corner. She moves slowly through the rooms, her footsteps soft against the floor, her breath steady and relaxed, as though she belongs here, as though the castle recognizes her and welcomes her each and every time. She is not in a rush, she never is, and tonight is no different. She pauses by the window, looking out at the gardens below, where moonlight rests upon leaves and stone paths, where fountains sleep and flowers sway gently in the cool night air. And somewhere deeper within the castle, there is another presence, a quiet guardian of this place, not defined by appearance, not shaped by old fears or stories, but by stillness, by patience, by a heart that has learned to soften over time. He moves through the castle slowly, carefully, aware of every shadow, sound, every flicker of candlelight, not out of worry, but out of care. The castle feels different when she is here, warmer somehow, as though the walls themselves relax, as though the silence becomes gentler, more welcoming. And so the night continues, calm and unbroken, as moments drift by like slow-moving clouds, each one softer than the last. Breathing in and breathing out, the castle rests, the village sleeps, and this story moves forward, quietly, peacefully, one gentle moment at a time. And as the story continues, it will grow slower still, softer still, allowing thoughts to drift and eyelids to grow heavy as sleep begins to feel closer and closer. As the night continues, slowly, gently, without asking for anything at all, the castle seems to breathe a little deeper, its walls warmed by candlelight, its rooms filled with a peaceful stillness. If you notice your breathing now, you may find it has softened, become slower, more natural, as though your body already knows it is safe to rest. In the quiet room by the window, the open book remains untouched, its pages unmoving, content to wait, just as everything else here waits, without impatience, without expectation. Outside, the gardens lie beneath a silver-blue glow, moonlight resting gently on stone paths, on tall grasses, on leaves that shimmer faintly, as if each one were quietly glowing from within. A light breeze drifts through the air, not strong enough to disturb, only enough to remind the world that it is alive and calm and deeply at ease. She walks slowly now through the long hallway, her presence unhurried, her steps barely making a sound, as though she is moving in harmony with the night itself. With each step, the castle feels warmer, softer, as if it recognizes the gentle rhythm she brings with her. She pauses near a tall archway, resting her hand lightly against the smooth stone, feeling its cool surface, its quiet strength. And for a moment, she simply stands there, breathing, listening, being. Somewhere nearby, a soft glow flickers, casting gentle shadows that move slowly along the walls, stretching, settling, then slowly dissolving into stillness again. The presence within the castle moves as well, calmly, carefully, never rushing, never startling the quiet. He has learned the language of silence here, learned how to move in a way that does not disturb the peace, how to exist without tension, how to simply be. There's no fear in this place, no sharp edges, no lingering worries, only the gentle awareness of shared space, shared calm, shared rest. As time drifts onward, moments blur together softly, like clouds passing across a night sky, slow and unbroken. If your thoughts begin to wander now, that is perfectly all right. They are allowed to drift, to float, to fade. You do not need to hold on to them. They will pass on their own, leaving behind a quiet stillness. The candle's flame remains steady, its light warm and reassuring, as though it were watching over the room, protecting this gentle moment of rest. And as the night deepens, details begin to soften, edges blur slightly, sounds grow more distant, as though the world itself is slowly dimming. Breathing in and breathing out, each breath feels a little heavier, a little slower, as if sleep is already beginning to settle in. The castle no longer feels large or vast. It feels close, comforting, like a quiet shelter from the outside world. And within this shelter, everything continues at its own gentle pace, without urgency, without demand. The gardens rest, the village sleeps, the stars remain quietly in place above it all. And the story continues, softly, peacefully, guiding you further into rest, one calm moment at a time. Slowing now, softening now, allowing the night to hold you as you drift closer and closer to sleep. The night holds everything gently now, as though it has wrapped the castle, the gardens, and even your thoughts in a soft, reassuring embrace. There's a deep quiet here, the kind of quiet that does not feel empty, but full of calm, full of ease, full of gentle presence. If you notice your body again, you may feel it sinking, settling, growing heavier with comfort, as though the surface beneath you is supporting you completely. There's nothing to adjust, nothing to fix. Everything is already just right. Inside the castle, the candlelight has softened even more, its glow now a warm blur, edges fading gently, as if the light itself is becoming sleepy. The open book rests quietly, its pages no longer calling for attention, content to remain just as it is, still, patient, at rest. She moves through the room once more, slowly, almost floating now, her steps guided more by feeling than by intention. Her presence feels lighter, as though she has become part of the night, part of the quiet rhythm that flows through the castle. She pauses again by the window, though now the view outside feels distant, softened, as if seen through a gentle veil. The stars seem quieter somehow, their light less sharp, more like a faint shimmer, a peaceful reminder that everything is calm. Somewhere nearby, the other presence remains, not watching, not waiting, simply existing in the same peaceful space. There's no need for words here, no need for understanding, only the shared stillness of the moment. Time feels different now, stretching, slowing, losing its usual shape, as moments blend into one another without effort. Breathing in and breathing out, each breath feels softer than the last, almost effortless, as though your body is breathing for you. The castle itself seems to settle deeper into rest, its old stones warm and quiet, its rooms filled with a gentle calm that does not fade. Outside, the gardens are nearly motionless now, leaves barely stirring, paths resting under moonlight, everything exactly where it needs to be. And as the story continues, it does not rush forward. It does not ask you to follow closely. It simply flows, slowly, softly. Details become less important, thoughts drift further away, and the feeling of comfort grows stronger. You may notice a sense of floating now, or perhaps a gentle sinking. Either way is fine. Either way is restful. The night remains steady, patient, unmoving in its calm. And within this calm, there's nothing you need to remember, nothing you need to hold onto. The story will carry itself from here, allowing you to rest, to drift, to let go. Slowing still, softening still, as sleep draws nearer, wrapping everything in quiet ease. Everything feels quieter now, not suddenly, not noticeably, but gently, as though the world has turned its volume down, one soft moment at a time. The castle no longer feels like a place you are observing. It feels like a place you are resting within, held by thick stone walls, by warm shadows, by the kind of stillness that asks nothing of you. If there are any remaining thoughts drifting through your mind, they can slow now, they can soften, they can fade into the background, like distant clouds dissolving into the night sky. There's no need to follow them, they will pass on their own, leaving behind a gentle quiet. Inside the room, the candle has burned lower, its light now a faint glow, barely outlining the edges of the space, as though even the light has grown tired. The air feels warm, comfortable, steady, moving so slowly it is almost still. She is no longer walking now, no longer moving from place to place. She has settled into the calm of the castle, becoming part of its quiet rhythm. Her presence is soft, barely noticeable, like the feeling of a blanket resting gently over your shoulders. And nearby, the other presence remains, not separate, not distant, just there, sharing the same peaceful space, the same gentle silence. Nothing needs to be said, nothing needs to be understood, everything simply is. Time feels slower still, stretching out, loosening its hold, until it barely feels like time at all. Breathing in and breathing out, each breath now feels automatic, natural, easy. Your body knows exactly what to do. It always has. And now it is guiding you deeper into rest. The castle settles further into the night, its rooms quiet and still, its halls empty and calm, its gardens wrapped in moonlight and shadow. Outside, the stars seem farther away now, their light dimmer, softer, as though they too are drifting toward sleep. Details begin to blur, edges fade, and the story becomes more of a feeling than a sequence of events, a feeling of safety, of warmth, of gentle ease. There's nothing left to hold on to, nothing left to follow closely. The words can drift past you now, like a slow-moving stream, quiet and unbroken. If your eyelids feel heavy, that is natural. If your thoughts feel distant, that is welcome. The night continues to hold everything, patiently, steadily, without interruption. And the story continues too, but more softly now, less defined, as though it is already beginning to fade, slower, softer, lighter. Everything moves more slowly now, so slowly that movement itself almost disappears. The castle rests, not as a place, not as walls or rooms, but as a feeling, a quiet sense of being held. There's no need to picture anything clearly anymore. Images can soften, fade at the edges, becoming gentle impressions rather than details. The warmth remains, steady and reassuring, like the last moments before sleep, when everything feels safe and nothing asks for attention. Breathing continues, easy, natural, barely noticed, each breath flowing into the next, without effort. In this calm, there is no separation, no distance, only stillness and comfort. The story no longer needs to guide you. It has already brought you here, to this quiet place, where words are no longer important. The night holds everything evenly, without change, without sound, without movement. Thoughts drift by, if they appear at all, soft and distant, like reflections on dark water, quickly dissolving. Your body feels supported, resting fully, settled deeply, as though it has found the exact position it needs. Nothing pulls you forward, nothing holds you back. You can simply remain here, floating or sinking or resting quietly in between. The presence of the castle fades now, not gone, just less defined, like a dream you no longer need to remember. And the presence within it, gentle and calm, fades as well, leaving only a sense of peace behind. Words become softer, longer spaces appear between them, and even those spaces feel comforting. There's nothing left to do, nothing left to follow. Sleep is already very close, perhaps already here. The night remains steady and kind, holding you as long as you need, and the story continues, not forward, not backward, but gently dissolving into quiet rest. There's very little left to notice now, very little left to hold on to, as everything settles into a quiet sameness, soft, even, and calm. The night no longer feels wide or deep. It feels close, comforting, like a familiar darkness that knows you well. Breathing happens on its own, slow, steady, barely there, each breath melting gently into the next. Thoughts have become distant now, if they appear at all. They pass without shape, without weight, like mist dissolving before it can form. The castle is no longer a place, no walls, no rooms, no paths to follow, only a quiet sense of shelter remains. Warmth lingers, not strong, not fading, just present, steady and kind. There is no story to listen to anymore, no images to imagine, only rest, only stillness, only the soft pull of sleep. Moments no longer separate themselves. Time has loosened, slowed, softened, until it feels almost unnecessary. Your body rests fully now, supported completely, heavy in the most comfortable way, as though it has finally let go. The night holds you without effort, without sound, without movement. Words thin out here, stretching farther apart, becoming quieter, lighter, less important. Nothing will change suddenly. Nothing will interrupt this calm. Sleep has arrived gently, exactly as it should. And so the quiet remains, unchanging, steady, safe, resting, drifting, sleeping.